So many sports fans claim that they love when their team takes risks. They take calculated gambles and chances. They would rather, allegedly, see their team swing for the fences, and maybe they strike out, but at least they gave it the old college try. And when it comes to the NFL and risk-taking and gambling and taking chances, let's face it, it's a lot easier to praise somebody when the gamble, the risk, the chance pays off. It's executed successfully. Something big comes out of it. It's very easy with the hindsight being 2020 to say, that was a great decision. Why? Because it worked. So I can imagine after Sunday's game for the Colts against the Texans and the decision Frank Reich made, the head coach of the Colts, in overtime, in his own territory, to go for it on fourth down late in overtime, is going to get a lot of criticism and has already gotten plenty of criticism. And look, I understand it. Ultimately, Frank Reich made a calculated gamble, a risk. He took a chance and ultimately rolled craps. And as a result, put the Texans damn near in field goal range where the Texans could end up kicking a game-winning field goal and winning the game in overtime. On the surface, it looks like an incredibly dumb decision. You go for it, don't get it, you're basically giving the Texans the game, is the way you can look at it. And to me, all I've got to say is, if I'm Frank Reich, I do the exact same damn thing. I applaud Frank Reich for showing the balls and the guts to believe in his not very good Colts team. The hell with this chicken shit stuff. By punting in that situation that late into overtime, Frank Reich is basically saying he doesn't care if he wins or loses. He is comfortable with the tie. This isn't freaking soccer, people! This is football! American style! America! We play for wins or losses, not damn ties! So if I'm a player playing for Frank Reich, I want him to show confidence in this team, show confidence in this offense, that he shows the faith enough in them to believe in them to get a first down in their own territory, late in overtime, going for the win. What the hell player, coach, wouldn't want to be associated with that type of decision? Oh, we're going to play it safe, put it in the defense's hands, and maybe, just maybe, we'll go ahead and get a tie out of it. For all you know, the Colts could have punted the ball away. The Texans could have gotten in field goal range anyways and still ended up winning the game. So the Colts still could have potentially lost. The only way Frank Reich is a loser here, other than the fact that his team, yes, ultimately did lose the game, is if he doesn't go for it there. Now, this is not the same as many years back when Belichick went for it on 4th and 2 at his own, 28-yard line. That wasn't showing confidence in his offense. That was showing fear of Peyton Manning and fear of his own defense and their inability to stop Peyton Manning in that game. That was showing a lack of confidence on one half of your football team. That's different. In this particular case, Frank Reich is showing belief and confidence in his team, who, mind you, by the way, if memory serves me correctly from Sunday, had already come back from a 28-10 deficit to get back in the game, to even force overtime to begin with. And sure, some of the smartasses are going to say, imagine that. Andrew Luck, Captain Comeback, Captain Andrew Luck, leads his team onto the battlefield late, makes his big comeback happen, only for other people not named Andrew Luck to ultimately find a way to lose the game. And perhaps you could say that to a certain degree. But if you're the Colts, you're not a great team anyways, and everybody knows that. You have no business really being a playoff team this year. You're 1-2. You're taking on a divisional rival. Why the hell wouldn't you freaking go for it? What the hell do you have to lose other than, yes, a game that in the grand scheme of things, how much is that going to really mean? You're trying to change culture. You're trying to set attitude. You're trying to set a new way forward. And for those that were so tired of the Pagano era and everything else, here's a guy that is clearly showing you he believes in his team. He believes in his franchise quarterback. He plays to win. And sometimes when you play to win the game, you might lose. To me, the smart thing in this case, while some of you will say it's better to tie than lose, and from a statistical standpoint it is, to me the far better thing to do is to try and win the game as opposed to playing it safe and pussing out for a tie. So it is much easier, granted, to sit there and praise Frank Reich for his courage and his balls if his team is successful on that 4th down conversion and they ultimately go down, march down the field, and kick a game-winning field goal. But it's funny, Mike Vrabel made his own very calculated gamble on 4th down late in the game Sunday against the Eagles, and since his team executed and got the 1st down, he believed in his team. They end up going down and winning the damn game. But if Mike Vrabel's team didn't convert the 4th down, would we be talking about him being stupid or being a coward? Probably, and that's a damn shame. The difference shouldn't be ultimately whether you executed and got the 1st down or not in terms of whether or not it was the right decision. And I'm sorry, maybe some Colts fans are pissed off about it because, yeah, you look at it, you lost a game that you feel like maybe you shouldn't have deserved to lose. But you already were in a huge deficit early on in the game, and you were lucky to even be back in the position where you had a chance to win the damn thing in overtime any damn way. Give me the courage and the belief and confidence in team. Give me somebody that wants to win, not to do the logical thing and play it safe and play for the tie. Fuck that. You're the Colts. What the hell else did you have to lose other than the damn game? It's one loss. But long term, I feel like it represents something more for that locker room. And I guarantee you that all the players on that team support that decision. If they don't, they're crazy. And if you don't support this decision, in my opinion, you're crazy. Show some nuts. Frank Reich did. And sometimes it doesn't pay off. But just because it doesn't pay off, that doesn't always mean it's a bad decision. Because what happens if he goes for it on 4th down, Andrew Luck converts, and then the next play there's like a pick 6? Does that mean it was a bad decision? Hell no! Really easy with hindsight and revisionist history to say woulda, coulda, shoulda. If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, so it'd be Christmas every day. And the bottom line is this. Frank Reich went for it. And sometimes when you gamble, you roll craps. But this was the right gamble and the right decision, and I believe it will have some benefits for this team long term from establishing a winning environment and a winning culture. So you can flame on Frank Reich all you want. But me, for one, I've got his back because it was absolutely the right decision. And if he's in that same position again, I hope he shows the balls again to go for it. Because I know if I was a player on that team or a fan of that team, I want him to do the same damn thing.